Kenya is a net importer.
Yes.
So most of the consumables will have quite a significant import content. And as the engineer mentioned, currently manufacturing in Kenya relies significantly on inputs,
right,
with a lot of foreign content. The other significant import is oil for our energy needs.
Right.
And the point I'm trying to put across that most of that is priced in foreign currency.
Yes.
So when the shilling is on a depreciating trend, it means that the Kenya shilling equivalent of those imported goods becomes more expensive.
Right.
And therefore the cost of production, the cost of inputs, the cost of, and the ultimate product at the end of the day becomes expensive.
Yes.
So the cost of living is significantly affected upwards. And that's how a depreciating shilling affects our consumption basket, you see. So the reason why we should have stability in the exchange rate. If the exchange rate is stable, then you have got a fairly stable cost of living that is not spiking upwards or having a lot of volatility.
Right, and fluctuations.
Yeah, that's the essence of having a stable exchange rate.
Right.
Now, there is another concept. There are three quantities that are interlinked.
Right.
That's inflation, interest rate, and exchange rate.
The trifecta.
Yes. And they are interlinked to the point whereby you can manage one through another. The tool that central bank, for example, through the Monetary Policy Committee has is mainly using the interest rate as a tool of managing, for example, inflation. And inflation can either be, externally driven or internally driven, from the supply side or from the demand side. And you can use the interest rate as a tool to manage inflation.
Right.
So the objective of central bank is to ensure that you have got a stable price stability.
Right.
And price stability means maintaining inflation that is low and stable.
Right.
So sometimes you have got to inject additional interest into the market in order to bring inflation within control.
Right.
Once you have brought it under control, you can then bring back the interest rate back down to support credit growth and therefore support production in the economy.
Right.
So I think those are variables that you'll see being played around with in the market. You'll normally hear complaint from the market of the fact that why is central bank increasing the interest rates?
Yes.
When at this point in time, all requires a fairly low, stable interest rate to support the economic recovery. But sometimes it's necessary to inject that small pain for you to be able to achieve the stability and therefore bring the interest rates down.
Right, and it's very good that you've brought that up. I think we should just delve into the interest matter here and now. Of course, there's those three factors that usually play around, and it affects the economy and how exactly businesses usually fare on. Engineer Chris, when it comes to the interest rate, of course, you have seen that there have been changes. It used to be 10.50, now it's at 13%. Usually you guys, or the manufacturing sector, usually takes loans in order to advance their agendas. How do you feel about this?
Let me go back to the way organizations function.
Yes.
We have, the planning for new products. There is the sales forecasts. There is the supply planning where you look at the entire supply chain, where you buy the raw materials, you are able then to bring it to your factory, you are able then to do value addition, convert it and package it in a way that then you transport it to the consumer. And in a lot of cases, we sell it through maybe distributors or wholesalers and retailers. And in the whole length of the supply chain, you will notice that there is a lead time. By the time a raw material is being bought until it reaches the final consumer, there is always that lead time.
Right.
Now, because of the volatility of the interest rates, number one, it brings in a credit risk to our consumer or to our potential distributors or channel partners, because then they are not able to get credit to be able to buy our goods.
Yes.
And if they don't buy the goods that we manufacture, again, we find ourselves in a very tough scenario, because then there is a relationship between the cost of production in terms of volume, in terms of the quantity you make, and the price per unit.
Right.
And competitive economy is driven by a very effective and efficient deployment of resources.